Hey, it's Mr. Eason, and today we're going to talk about some early division in fourth grade. In fifth grade, in third grade, typically you guys work on division with no remainders and you kind of stick with some division facts. And so we're going to look a little bit with division facts, but we're then going to branch out into doing 3 and 4 digits divided by a single digit. So we're going to start off with some, easier ones to kind of get us going, get our feet wet. So we're going to look at these two that don't have any word problems attached, and we're going to talk about how to solve them. When we do word problem division, I always ask for 3 things, especially now. I ask for a division equation, I ask for a related multiplication fact, and I ask for a sentence answer. Since these don't have any word problems attached, they don't need sentence answers. So some strategies you guys probably learned last year were things like drawing 5 boxes for 33 divided by 5 and starting to put tallies in each box until you run out. For 21 divided by 2, you might draw 2 tallies or 2 boxes. You'll have to excuse my pauses because they're going to be doing COVID testing, and I'll try to pause when they do announcements. For 21 divided by 2, they would split it into 2 boxes, and they draw, tallies until they run out of tallies. We're trying to look for a more sophisticated way, mostly because when we start doing 3 and 4 digits, we don't want to be drawing, 2,529 tallies into 4 boxes. That sounds like a lot of work. So for 33 divided by 5, we are going to try and think of a 5 multiplication fact that gets us close to 33. So kind of thinking about 5 times blank is going to get us close or about 33. Now, no 5 fact is going to get us exactly 33. We know that. So what 5 fact do we know that's going to get us close to 33? Well, I bet 5 times 6 does. So let's erase this. And let's say 5 times 6 equals 30. And that is true. So we can now think about 33 divided by 5 being 6 because 5 times 6 is 30. Then we think to ourselves, how close is 30 to 33? It is 3 away, so we have a remainder of 3. There are 3 leftovers if we split 33 into 5 equal groups. Okay, if we split 33 into 5 equal groups, there is 6 in each group with 3 leftovers. Okay, we can think about the same thing with 21 divided by 2. We need a 2 fact. It's going to get us close to 21. So what do you think it is? If you thought about 2 times 10 being 20, that is a good thought, friends, because that's the fact that we should be using. So we now know that 21 divided by 2 is going to be 10, and then you look at how close your multiplication fact answer is to your starting division number. This would be called the dividend, and it is 1 away. So we have a remainder or a leftover of 1. So if you're splitting 21 into 2 equal groups, each group gets 10 items with 1 item being left over. So in 4th grade, we spend a little time talking about that remainder, what is left over, and how you deal with that leftover. So we're going to look at this next question here. So now that we've looked at a couple of examples of how to solve some basic division equations, now we're going to look at some word problems. And your assignment's going to be to work on some word problems. And the thing that I say about word problems with division is that you always need 3 things. You need a division equation, you need a multiplication fact, and you need a sentence answer. And so we're going to make sure we have all 3 of those things for this word problem. It says 4 boys had a lemonade stand. In the first hour, they made $33. If they split the money equally, how much money would each boy get? And so you're thinking to yourself, what is the division equation going to be? The division equation is going to be 33 divided by 4, because I'm trying to share my $33 with 4 boys. Okay, and if you want, you can kind of think of the 33. You don't have to think about it as 33.00. You can just think of it as 33 divided by 4. So you're thinking in your head, what is a 4 fact that could get you close to 33? And so maybe, you know one right off the top of your head, and maybe you don't. You can think about 4 times 5 is 20. Think about 4 times 6 is 24. 4 times 7 is 28. 4 times 8, hey, that's 32. That's really close. So that's the division equation I want, is 4 times 8 equals 32. So my answer comes from the other factor of my multiplication fact. It's not the 4, because the 4 is already represented in the division equation. It is the 8. And then you think to yourself, how close is 32 to 33? It is 1 away, so this is a remainder of 1. So right now, each boy gets $8, and there is $1 left over. Now, technically, it's not wrong to write those words exactly like I said. Each boy gets $8 with $1 left over. Now, like I said, that's not wrong. But I feel like in the real world, if this were you and 3 friends, you would not leave that dollar and just give it away or throw it away or whatever else. If you were a smart person, what would you do with that dollar? How could you split that dollar up? Maybe you could turn it into something. I'm thinking you can turn that dollar into quarters. Okay, if you did that, there are 4 quarters in a dollar, and you can give a quarter to each of the boys. So a better answer, I'm going to write it in red here, would be that each boy gets $8.25. That's a better answer. Okay, that's because you dealt with that remainder. You figured out what to do with that extra dollar. Okay, so we have 3 things. We have our division equation, our multiplication sentence, and one of these 2 sentence answers. So keeping in mind that 33 divided by 4 mathematically is 8 remainder 1, but you have to deal with it in different ways depending on the situation. I'm going to show you one more situation on the next screen that would have the same division equation, but possibly a different answer. All right, so here is the other word problem. 4 friends baked a batch of 33 cookies. If they want to share the cookies equally, how many cookies will they each get? And so again, we are looking at the same division equation, in this case, of 33 divided by 4. There are 33 cookies. We are sharing them between 4 friends. We want to know how many cookies each friend gets. So we think about a related multiplication fact. Since it's the same division equation, we can use the same multiplication fact. And our answer, mathematically, is still 8 with a remainder of 1. But now, what we do with that extra thing might change, okay? You could still say that each friend gets 8 cookies with 1 cookie left over, but I think that a cookie is something that could easily be split into pieces, right? If this is your extra cookie over here, you could very easily cut that up into 4 pieces, and each of the friends gets another piece. So my sentence for this one might be each friend gets 8 1/4 cookies. So as you can see, it's a different answer when you think about it in the terms of cookies. And every question that you're going to look at on your assignment that we did yesterday, that you're going to do today, has a different answer. You know, you have to kind of interpret or deal with that remainder in a special way. And it really is a kind of like a thinking part as much as it is a solving a division equation. Solving the division equation, I think, is probably the easiest part. It's really thinking in your head about, hey, what do I do with that extra to deal with it? That kind of makes it a little more challenging. So this has been Mr. Eason with some help on division. Hopefully this helps you if you are working at home or if you're working on a homework assignment. And I will see you guys next time.